Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Regina and I am so glad that you're here. Simply because you clicked on this video, go ahead and do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Hit like, comment, and share so we can get this out to others and encourage them as well. Also, if you're here, since you're here, we're going to get into this today. I am so excited. But if you're looking for a community where you can be uplifted, you can be encouraged, this is the community ReeVibes just for you. All right, you clicked on this video. Let's get into this title. What we're talking about today is more than enough. Listen, God says He's going to make it last. Whatever that little bit that you have that you're trying to stretch, that you're trying to make last, maybe it's your food, maybe it's money, maybe you're trying to stretch something, your faith, to make it last through this tight season that you're in, this dilemma that you're in. God is saying it's going to be more than enough. Why? Because He says all you got to do is put that little in His hands. And when you put little in His hands, it becomes more than enough. It becomes all that you need. It sustains you. Man, I'm getting excited because God is saying He's in the business of taking what you think in your mind cannot help you make it because it looks real small. It looks like it's minute. It looks like it's not going to matter. It's not going to amount to anything. But God is saying you're sitting in the right position for Him to perform a miracle. Help is coming your way. God said, go ahead and release it. It's going to be your obedience. Your obedience, God says, is tied to your miracle. So once you begin to be obedient and sacrifice for Him, talk to Him first. First things first, bring it to Him first. Put it in His hands first instead of going to resources and going to family members and going to things and places. God is saying He's going to open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you will not have room enough to receive. Listen, this word is for someone. God is saying this to someone. You're going to have more than enough. Go ahead and dry those tears up. Don't fret, don't worry, because what He's about to do, He's taking that little and He's going to make it last for a while, for many days. And He's given me a scripture for you. I'm going to put this scripture in the description box so you can go ahead and meditate on it and marinate on it later. But I'm going to come over to First Kings chapter 17, verses 14 through 16. I'm going to read it real quick for you, but in your own time, read it so God can get clarity to you about your situation, about how He's going to do more than enough for you. But it says in verse 14, for this yourself and your son, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel says, there will always be flour and olive oil left in your containers until the time when the Lord sends rain and the crops grow again. 15 says, so she did as the widow woman, as Elijah said, and she and Elijah and her family continued to eat for many days. There was always enough flour and olive oil left in the containers, just as the Lord had promised through Elijah. Listen, this same woman, God said He's no respecter of persons. She was a widower. They had fallen into this famine and they were waiting on the rain. And listen, she had said in her mind, ain't no rain coming. We don't know when the rain is going to come to flourish this earth, to flourish this land, so we might have more food growing and more water for us to drink. But in the meantime, it doesn't look like there's any hope. And I only have a little bit of oil and a little bit of flour to make this cake. And it's me and my son. I'm talking to you, single mom. It's me and my son. I'm going to fix this little bit. And me and my son are going to die because we don't see how we're going to come out of this famine. We don't see how we're going to come out of this lack. We don't see how we're going to come out of this not enough. And so God sent the prophet Elijah to her. Listen, it was about her faith and his obedience. Faith and obedience on both ends. And so she didn't even know she was about to receive a miracle. And so God allowed the prophet, God allowed His messenger to show up on the scenes and test her faith, because Elijah came on behalf of the Lord and asked her to get him some water first. Yeah, he started out good. Then he went a little further and it seemed like he got a little greedy. He said, make me a cake first. And she was just like, okay, I'm good with the water. I'm going to go ahead and get that. She did that. But when he came back and asked for that cake, the one I just told you that she said she was going to prepare for her and her son and die as soon as they ate, that's what he asking for. She had to turn around and tell him, look here, sir, I know, I feel that you like you the man of God. You coming on God's behalf. But me and my son, it's about us right now. I only have a little bit of oil, a little bit of flour to make this one meal for me and my son. And you talking about make you one first is not enough. Ooh, I'm talking to somebody right now. You said it's not enough. Just like this lady is saying in her mind, her faith is just not woke up to believe that God has sent help to her. out of your obedience. Just remember that. And through that, Elijah was just like, trust me, because if you make me one first, move out in your obedience and move out in your act of faith, God says simply because you stepped out like there in obedience, you're going to have more than enough. As soon as you practice your obedience, boom, more than enough, stretched out, lasting for many days, lasting for many years, lasting for many months, is going to show up instantly on the scene for you. And that's what she did. She had said at first she was going to make that for her and her child, and they was going to go on and plan to die. But something on the inside just allowed her to go ahead and step out in her obedience. And as soon as she did that, God performed the miracle. And that's what he said. For many days, her flour, her containers, they never went empty simply because she obeyed the Lord. Now, I don't know who this word is for. It's for somebody. But when God says you begin to obey him and take him at his word, when he tell you to do a thing, just do it and watch the miracles that he's going to perform in your life. I'm telling you, this word is hot for somebody. God says that your obedience is tied to your miracle. You better latch on to this word. Get in your quiet time. Get into 1 Kings chapter 17, verses 14 through 16, and let God talk to you. Let him give you clarity. But yeah, he said, put it in his hands. That thing that you think is not going to get y'all through this rough season, as small as it's looking. He said, you're looking through your eyes. You have not looked through his eyes. See it through his eyes, and you will know that God is sovereign. God can do what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, and how he wants to do it. You can believe that with God, all things are possible when you begin to look through the eyes of God. So get ready, because your miracle is about to come as soon as you get obedient and let your faith step up and put it in God's hand. Watch him multiply it and make it last for you. That's some good news for somebody, because right now somebody is standing in that line at the supermarket and you have a few pennies you want to put on the counter, and you're hoping that those pennies will last. Those pennies will be able to pay for that food that you're trying to get, single mom, for that child, for your family. And God says, just trust me. Put them pennies in my hands. By your faith, you stood up there, and I see the sacrifice. Listen at this. I see the sacrifice, single mom, that you're doing for you and your children. And because of that, you're going to get more than enough. How about expect a miracle? Because the people in the line behind you are seeing you, and they're getting ready to pay for your groceries. How about that? That's some good news for somebody. God got all kind of miracles that he can do on your behalf. Your job today is to trust him and step out in obedience and faith and watch God move on your behalf. Listen, that's the word of the Lord for someone. It's about your obedience and it's about your faith. When you put that little in the hands of God, he's going to show you how he's going to stretch it and make it last. And you're going to have surplus. You're getting ready to have overflow. He's going to make it more than enough. So you be blessed and you be encouraged. Listen, I'm putting that in the description box, those scriptures that I told you about. Also in the description, I'm going to put a link tree link. I want you to click on that link. I want you to go ahead and be a part of the movement for me. Just click on and see what other platforms that I'm on and be a blessing. How about that? So until the next time, I'm going to get up out of here. I thank you and I welcome you. And remember to allow this to go out. Share it with someone you know who needs that encouragement and that uplift today. And for that, I say thank you, and I will see you on the next time. Bye-bye.